Alright guys, welcome. We are in video number 3 now of the AI Foundation series, and today we are going to be learning, guys, 8 key tasks that AI can help you perform faster as a human, but more importantly with live examples. Alright, so now that lecture format is slowly, going completely, we're going to get practical, hands-on. You're going to see me using the 8 kind of key tasks actually showcase this in ChatGPT. So let's quickly crack on ahead. All right. So as part of this, one of the key things I do want to mention before we kind of kick off is the following. A thought exercise throughout that I want you to make sure it's in the back of your mind as you follow this video, right? Every capability, meaning every task mentioned, think about the time it would currently take you to do this as a human without AI. Okay? Then simply compare it to how faster we're able to now do it with an LLM. Okay? Now, within this, just a quick note, I'm going to be using ChatGPT, but you can use any LLM tool that you want to. So whether that's Gemini, Claude, anything like that, you do your thing. I'm using ChatGPT because it's the one I use and the one that I'm most familiar with anyway. Okay? So with that being said, guys, let's kick off and let's quickly go ahead to the first capability. All right? So ChatGPT or AI now, ChatGPT, right? That's what we reference, Gen AI. It's very, very good text generation. Okay, and what that means is producing various forms of written content, all the way from stories, emails, essays to even professional reports, right? And let's actually have a look at this within now ChatGPT. Okay, so I'm gonna now flick my screen to the right, and now you can see ChatGPT. Once again, ChatGPT, quick tool. I prompt any instruction, any prompt I give will go here, right? And then ChatGPT will go ahead and kind of make sure I get the output, as you'll see once I prompt it over here, right? Now, the model that I want to choose, once again, I click on the model and I click on 4.0. In this case, normally the default model is 4.0 anyway. If you want to change it, you can. Different models do different things. For example, the O1 model uses advanced reasoning. That one mini is faster at reasoning. They've got more models as well, right? 4 mini is faster for everyday task. Being very honest, from a practical use case perspective, it doesn't really matter, right? We just use 4.0, the kind of basic kind of one that they have anyway, and it works just as well, okay? So I'm gonna click on 4.0. Let's quickly go and just simply say hi, right? Let's treat it like an actual human. Hello, how are you? Right? And then you can see that the minute we prompt it, it's a conversation between us and the actual machine, the AI, right? Doing well, how are you? Right? So what we're gonna do today is the first thing we're gonna ask it is to write a story, right? Because we are on the topic of text generation, about a boy who wanted to become a footballer. Okay, so very creative story, as you can see, but became an AI consultant instead, right? And let's see the output that it gives us. But just straight away, you can see that the minute you do that, it's so smart enough to know, for example, it's writing the whole story for us, right? From grass to code, the story of Liam Davis. Liam grew up in a small town where weekends meant one thing, football. Liam's dreams were born on that green patchy field, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, dazzling defenders. From an early age, Liam's talent was undeniable. We've not only got kind of a small kind of chapter, but it's going on. It's writing the whole story for me. It's creating the kind of essentially the whole arc of what happened. He got injured. Oh no, what would happen? Then straight away, as he was kind of playing on a laptop, he found an online course in coding. And from this online course, he delved into programming. Then programming led him to AI, and kind of based off that, then, all of this, we have an intense story. Now, just think, for example, if you had to do this yourself and write a story right from the get-go of how all of this would be it would just take a lot more time than what we literally got within the space of less than probably a minute. Okay? That's fantastic. So it's very good at performing stories, right? Let's have a look at if it can now draft an email. Okay, so draft me an email that I want to send to the CMO to showcase a product I am. Okay, so let's quickly go ahead and see what it does over here. So the minute you kind of say draft me an email, it straight away knows, and it's kind of, the implicit knowledge is already there. It knows, for example, the subject, driving innovation, introducing your product name. So this is where I can fill in my product template. Dear CM, I hope this message finds you well. Right, your product is designed to do the following, is actually giving me where I can fill this out as a template. So once again, very, very powerful. It's using, for example, we've already seen remarkable results during testing. So adding that social proof, we would normally do in these kind of sales emails anyway. Look forward to your thoughts, XYZ, right? So once again, very, very powerful. Okay, so very good at writing emails as well. Now let's quickly go ahead and ask it to write me an essay about how to analyze tactics in football. Okay, and by football, I mean soccer. Okay, actual football. Let's quickly go and do this. Okay, how to analyze football in soccer. And straight away now, it's able to change the context. So it doesn't have subject, so it knows it's not an email. It's able to go ahead, quickly kind of draft intense detail about what's going on. At its core, tactics in football refers to a strategic approach of the team employs during a match, formations, playing styles. Now think of all this information. For example, how long it would take for someone who doesn't know football to research. For even someone that does know football, how long it would take to actually research. Okay? Now, just showcase the power of the fact that it's trained on so much data. You ask it something, it's able to kind of give back to you rich output that a few years ago was almost impossible. If not, yes, it was impossible. Right? So very, very powerful there as well. Okay. And just like that, I've got a intense, essentially report essay that I asked, an essay. And based off that, then I've got everything of pre-match analysis, in-match analysis, post-match analysis, conclusion, very, very powerful. That being said, I did say report. The final use case we're going to see is also a report. So how about, let's make it a bit programming oriented. So write me a report of the difference between Java, a programming language, and Apex, right? So I'm not telling it as a programming language, but straight away from the actual thing, it's able to concur straight away of it knows it's been trained on this data that these are both programming languages. Java was developed by Sun Microsystems. Apex was developed by Salesforce, right? Now, the purpose and use case, Java is more general purpose. Apex is specifically designed for Salesforce as well. Just goes into detail in terms of what's going on, the syntax of this is the thing. Apex is similar, simplified for Salesforce operations. So just like that, very, very powerful. And you can see it keeps going on and on and on. I can stop if I want to by clicking on the stop button, but I'd rather let it completely kind of give me the output that it wants to. And then straight away, it's really giving me that general guidance based off that one prompt alone of what are the differences itself, right? Very, very powerful and very, very rich. So with that being said, we can see straight away that when it comes to text generation, GPT, LLMs, generative AI is very, very powerful, right? Let's look at use case number 2. Use case number 2 is about summarization, right? And what we're going to do now is we're going to condense some elements of lengthy text, articles, or documents into concise summaries, all right? Of which, let's quickly go back into ChatGPT. Right, so I am back in ChatGPT now, and what I'm going to do is I want to summarize a small video that I don't really have time to watch right now. Okay, so this Elon Musk video, advice for young people with Lex Friedman, right? I'm going to click on this video in order to summarize this. Like I said, I don't have 8 minutes. Let's quickly see if I can optimize this task for me. So what I can do actually is I know YouTube actually publishes the transcript of all of this. So what if I go to the transcript and simply do a complete copy paste of the transcript and see if it can be summarized for me? Let's quickly go ahead and do that, okay? So I quickly go ahead, simply type in summarize this podcast clip for me between Elon Musk and Lex Friedman, okay? On the Lex Friedman podcast. Okay, so just like that, I'm going to type in the transcript and let's hopefully watch AI do its magic. So straight away, I can see I've got to scroll a bit down, but straight away it starts to go ahead and instead of 8 minutes now, it's simply giving me quick summary of what's going on. In this podcast segment, Elon Musk shares advice for young people aspiring to make a significant impact, right? Number 1, be useful. Focus on contributing positively to society by doing things that are valuable and meaningful, right? Create a net positive rather than consuming more than you contribute, right? Leadership in life. Learning approaches, right? Read broad. Develop a general understanding of many fields. Hands-on learning, right? Overlap of talent and passion. Zero sum and growth mindset. Respect for honest work. And key takeaway as follows. But just like that, you can see now, guys, instead of watching the video for 8 minutes, I was able to simply go ahead, get the actual crux of what the video showcased within literally less than 30 seconds, right? If you look at the time it took me to probably go ahead and copy the transcript, that probably took longer than how much AI actually replied back to me with the summary. So very, very powerful. And now that was essentially some text. Can it do now the same with an article? I've got a kind of site I sometimes read called Politico, very heavily focused on American politics. Like I said, it's a lot of paragraphs right now. I don't really have the time nor want to read kind of the big one. So if I go ahead and quickly copy and paste this in, let's see if it's able to summarize this. Summarize this article for me, please. Okay, let's simply do that. And like I said, got to quickly scroll down. This article explores Donald Trump's growing appeal among Latino voters in the 2024 election. Right, key points as follows: major shifts, geographic impact. It's really, like I said, reading through the whole article for me, and simply for me as a human, giving me back the most important parts. Right? If I really wanted to, I could question it in terms of what does the article say in this, but I just wanted to showcase this as part of the video, the example of it's possible. Okay. Now, how about this was essentially quite small text, but as you can see, for those of you that are kind of a bit observant, you could also attach files as well within ChatGPT. So, what if I wanted to actually go ahead and read the 10K report of Apple? As you can see, the 10K report, it's 80 pages. If you thought kind of the 8 minutes was long, imagine reading 80 pages of essentially quite a complex report, right? So what we're going to do is see the use case where AI, ChatGPT, LLMs can quickly go ahead and simply, now I'm going to go ahead and attach the actual 10K, which I've downloaded, and say, please summarize this for me, and let's see if it's able to do so. And just like that, AI is reading the documents for us, right? It's like I said, this is some crazy powerful technology at this stage. So the 2023 10K report for Apple Inc. provides a detailed overview as follows. This baffles me to this day. The fact that we have now technology that can do this is giving me a complete end-to-end view regarding the business overview of what's inside the actual 10K, right? The financial highlights, key risk, strategic insights, operational highlights, and it keeps going on. If you like specific details, let me know. But just the fact that it's able to do this and consume the whole report, which if I'd taken some time, it would have taken me a very, very long time to do. Phenomenal. So just like that, if I go back now to the actual use case itself, it just showcases the fact that, yeah, it's mad, the fact that you can even do that. Okay, so that's summarization. Well, let's quickly go ahead and to the next topic, which is translation. So converting text now between multiple different languages. Now, we've all used in the past Google Translate. We've used it quite a lot as well. What if now, can ChatGPT do this itself? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is simply use kind of one of the previous kind of responses as a future outlook. Please, can you translate this for me in French and Spanish? Let's see if it's able to do so. Okay. And just like that now, you can see now the power of ChatGPT. It offers me two responses. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer one where kind of you can see the kind of headings, or one where you can't see the headings? And these are two different responses as well. So I'm getting essentially right now 4 responses. Now this is rare, but it's also kind of one way the tool gets better itself. Now I prefer this response. It's a lot easier to read. And just like that, I'm able to go ahead and see Apple acknowledges the fluctuating quarterly sales, right? It is giving me the French version as well as the Spanish version. Let's quickly see if it's actually useful and it actually is making sense. I'm going to go into Google Translate. I'm going to go on the Spanish translation and then simply type this in. Apple acknowledges fluctuations in quarterly sales due to seasonality. The company remains focused on expanding product. And just like that, it's very similar to what I mentioned at the start, right? So I'll use that as, yes, it was very successful. And just like that, I was able to translate using one prompt in 2 languages at one shot, not kind of simply one language, 2 languages. And you can now just think of the use case of this. But you can even translate whole documents, attach these documents, and do all of this using the power of ChatGPT. Okay, now let's look at use case number 4, where I can also simply go ahead and just have a conversation with ChatGPT in like a question answer way. And it provides very accurate responses to a broad range of inquiries, right? So say, for example, now if I go back into ChatGPT, I want to ask it, what is the offside rule, right? Like I said, complete no context what it means. It's able to infer that context straight away of, okay, offside rule, you most likely probably mean in football. It's one of the fundamental laws of the game. This is the actual rule itself. It's giving me so much data that, like I said previously, I would have to go ahead and actually research this myself, go on the Wikipedia article, probably something else, confirm the Wikipedia article to other different sources, just like that. So powerful where I can now see all of this, right? But then, say for example, I want to completely change context. Does it do so, or does it kind of still think I'm relating to the offside rule, right? So what if I gave it the actual prompt? What is the difference between India and USA? So it was, like I said, vastly different in terms of geography, culture, politics, economy, straight away, right? So India, located in South Asia, it's a part of this country. USA as follows, population, like just keeps going on, telling me the differences in terms of the culture, the education, the economy. Very powerful. Now, what if I was then to start prompting it? Okay, still going on, fantastic. It's an emerging global power. USA is a superpower. Now, how about if I say, how are India, USA, and the UK similar? Sorry, why not add Australia to the mix as well? And Australia, similar. Let's quickly go ahead and see what it's able to do so. Okay, in India, USA, UK, and India share several similarities in reflecting history. Like I said, it's phenomenal the fact that it's able to kind of say, okay, English is a common language, this is a democratic system, colonial legacy, legal system, like just a whole wealth of data just given to me simply based on a question answer input, right? And it just goes to show now you can ask it basically anything that you want. For those of you that want to obviously like do stuff and ask it to maybe, I don't know, even solve your homework, you can see the use cases, right? Obviously, use it within reason. You still will have to learn properly the right way. It's the best way to learn as well. But it's now there for you to make sure, obviously, the learning process becomes a lot faster, right? So, beautiful. Cool. Let's quickly now go back and look at use case number 5. Very good also at sentiment and analysis as well, where identifying the emotional tone of text. Now for this, say for example, I want to go ahead and just analyze a press conference that maybe kind of a football manager had done. In this case, I'm his biggest fan, Jose Mourinho, of, like I said, Mourinho's full explosive rant on scandalous Turkish league. So right from just the title alone, I have a feeling the sentiment is negative. Let's see if AI is able to confirm that for me. So I'm going to quickly go ahead. Once again, let's go on YouTube, let's go on the transcript, and let's copy and paste this transcript in and see, and specifically ask it of what do you think of this text, right? So I'm going to go ahead, use that, and let's go now back to ChatGPT of what is the sentiment of this press conference of Jose Mourinho, current manager of Fenerbahce 2024. All right, let's give it the fact that it's November as well. Okay. So straight away, let's have a look. The sentiment of exactly that, right? Predominantly negative, marked by frustration, criticism, discontent, right? Here's the analysis. Frustration with the Turkish league regarding what's going on. Officials not officiating properly. Self-assessment, commitment to his role. Overall sentiment, like I said, very, very just instantly I'm able to go ahead and kind of from the AI basically confirm what the title already showcased to me, but I actually confirmed it using actually what's inside of the video. I don't have to watch the video myself now anymore. Press conference portrays Mourinho, season manager, grappling with challenges, commitment to the role is evident. The tone is overwhelmingly critical, with sharp remarks on the league's quality, officiating, and overall fairness, right? So once again, very powerful, especially for sentiment analysis. Now think of the same application to potentially quarterly earning calls and stuff like that, right? Its use cases are omnipresent. Now, let's look at use case number 6. Now, this is a very interesting use case where the fact that it's powerful enough to do this, it's going to change just the IT sector in general. And let's showcase this, right? So it's very good for various programming tasks, right? And we're going to see this in action, but also debugging and offering code explanation across multiple languages. Let's have a look at this in detail. So if I go into ChatGPT, what if let's actually start a brand new conversation, right? So showcase to me an example of Java and explain it to. Okay, I'm writing now Java. So let's see if it's able to do this for me. Here's a simple example of Java program to illustrate syntax and functionality. The minute I do that, you can actually see it's got a very good kind of essentially editor as well. It describes coding, and that's fantastic. I can see, for example, now you've got kind of essentially declare two integer variables, perform the addition, print the result out, right? It's giving me the explanation to regarding what's going on, right? And now this was for Java, for example. It also goes ahead and says, how do I run the program, this, that, right? This is the output. What if now I change complete context, right? Of showcase how to do the same thing, but not in Java, but in JavaScript, right? Which is a different programming language altogether. Let's look at it. Let's look into how we can do this, right? So it goes ahead. It's able to kind of get the context of here's the same program in JavaScript using the JavaScript-like terminology. So straight away, like I said, there's a class declaration over here. Straight away, it's able to go ahead into JavaScript, and it's not that. It just console logs it. This is the following. Explanation as follows. Running the program, you can run it in the browser, run it using Node.js. Output is as follows. Also goes one step ahead and says, all right, this is the key difference between Java and JavaScript for this example, right? And actually, it's also able to kind of print this out for me in tables. Okay, so that was very powerful in itself. What about if we start getting to get very niche technologies? Because Java and JavaScript are quite kind of across the ecosystem and general purpose programming languages. What if specific programming language for only maybe one platform? Okay, so let's quickly go ahead and say, show me the same example in Apex, right? Which is the specific programming language of Salesforce. Here's the same additional functionality in Apex, right? So Salesforce's programming language as follows. So to do this, and once again, public class simple calculate. In Apex, like I said, it's teaching me as it goes, which is fantastic as well. Method declaration, variable, addition, all this other stuff, and just really, really powerful. I execute it through the anonymous window, which I can confirm, being a Salesforce expert, that's true as well. And like I said, key difference now between Apex and now Java and JavaScript as follows, right? Now what if one step further? Okay, so showcase how to do the same in ABAP, which is now, I'm not going to even tell it what it is. I'll tell you guys it's an SAP programming language. Let's see if it's able to infer that as well. And can it be done? So straight away, let's see. Perfect. Yes, it is possible to implement the same functionality in ABAP, which is SAP's proprietary programming language designed for enterprise development. This is the follow. A simple calculator for addition as follows. I can't read ABAP, so my dad can. I'm assuming maybe, that's right. That's fantastic. The fact that we basically went through 4 different languages, 2 general purpose, 2 kind of specific to one platform itself, is able to write the same program for us, right? Think of even just code, simple programming languages and simple programs. Sometimes it may take a long time to write that, right? Especially people that are starting out. Think about how this basically simplifies everything. But then more importantly, how it actually helps you learn as well, right? The use cases are phenomenal. Explanation, what's going on? Key differences between ABAP and other languages, all this other stuff, right? It's just so powerful in general. And that was essentially use case number 6, all right? The fact that it's able to go ahead, write code in various programming languages, help you debug, offer code explanation across multiple languages as well, okay? Now, use case number 7, image generation. Yes, it can also create visual content such as digital artwork or diagrams based on descriptive text prompts. So let's actually see this in action. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and start a brand new chat. And what I'm going to ask it is, could you create for me an image of a footballer on top of a Japanese mountain waiting for noodles to be served? Practice. Let's see if it's able. Just that in itself, think from an artistic perspective, even the most accomplished artist, how long it would probably take them, right? You can probably bet it's going to take them at least, they're very, very, very good, at least a few minutes. And so when I say a few minutes, probably 10 minutes plus, maybe even, right? Let's look at AI. The fact that we simply type it in, it's able to infer the fact it wants me to go create an image, and just like that, within seconds, this is so powerful. The fact that it's able to go ahead and hopefully, like I said, I haven't given it anything else, simply just like that. Create an image for me with a footballer on top of a Japanese mountain Waiting for noodles to be, it's just phenomenal. The fact that here's a footballer on top of a Japanese mountain, waiting for noodles to be served, blending tradition with modernity. Let me know how you can make adjustments, right? Now, what if I gave it another prompt, create a turtle for me who loves American pizza and wants to visit USA, specifically New York, to try pizza. Completely random. Let's look at what it kind of now says for me, right? What it does. So once again, within seconds, it's able to go ahead, create these kind of very cool images that would take even artists a very long time to make, right? And it's able to do this instantly for me. Oh, here we go. You got a very cute turtle that loves pizza that wants to visit New York, right? Here's an illustration as follows. Once again, so powerful, the whole thing itself, right? So using ChatGPT, we can also go ahead and generate images as well. And it's not just ChatGPT, most LLMs as well now. They're providing these very rich capabilities. So these use cases are not just simply for ChatGPT, it's for most of these LLM tools that you see in general, all right? Now, let's look at the final use case of the 8th task is diagram and flowchart creation. So you can now see, also with all of this being said, you can create structured diagrams and flowcharts to represent workflows or processes or visually complex ideas as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and actually, let's open a brand new chat, for example, and I want to give it the use case of create for me a flowchart in plain text, because it seems to kind of do that a lot more better in plain text, of how the customer acquisition process for a company occurs. Okay, so let's see what it gives back to me when I do this. Oh, straight away, based off this, here's in plain text. Let's see if it actually does this for me. All right, so this is the process flow. I want it to draw it out for me as well. Okay, so let's see if it does that. Okay, it's going on. Okay, it didn't do that for me. Can you draw a diagram? Let's see if it's able to do this. Whether it creates an image for me or whether there we go. All right, so now it's using essentially a library in Python to draw this for me in terms of how it all kind of works. Let's see what the output is. And like I said, I'm not writing anything right now. It's doing all of this by itself. Let's see what the output becomes. Just going ahead. Okay, so just like that. As you can see, awareness, interest, all right? So maybe not the best kind of diagram, but still the fact it's able to do so is great. All right, how about cool? Can you just draw the diagram for me in plain text in a .txt file, for example, right? Let's have a look if it's able to do that. It normally works best when it does that. There we go. Yes, straight away. Awareness, interest, consideration, decision, purchase, onboarding, retention, advocate. Like it's just like that. It's just phenomenal. And then not only that, it actually gives me even the diagram to download in plain text as well. So just like that, so powerful. Now think of the various ways you can apply this to your various business processes, right? Of we simply went for a customer acquisition, very generic process. What if this now was for some other process within your business, right? The use cases are phenomenal. And just like that, guys, we've seen essentially the use case number 8 as well, right? So now the final piece of recap. We saw right now the fact that AI, specifically generative AI, was able to go ahead and do for us text generation, summarization, translation in multiple languages, answering different types of questions, complex questions, right? Giving us rich outputs, sentiment and analysis of actual kind of different transcripts, code generation in multiple different languages, image generation, as well as finally diagram and flowchart creation with so much ease, right? Think of the power this brings to you as humans now, where you have now tools doing this for you. Okay, so just these are the 8 kind of main ways and kind of fundamental ways that you can essentially see how powerful this becomes now. And with that being said, guys, I really hope you found this video helpful. For those of you that did find it very helpful, please do like, subscribe, and share it with someone that you know also would kind of find this information useful, that wants to learn AI. The AI Foundation series is exactly for that. And for those of you that just want to simply connect with me, do ping me on LinkedIn. here to help in every way, shape, or form, guys. But I hope you enjoyed video number 3.